Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa and this is Melissa Knits for Fun. Well, this week guys, I have a finished object that I'm not allowed to show, but I will talk about it. I've got 5 other things that I've been working on this week. I've got a few yarn acquisitions and I've got a little housekeeping because I totally forgot to talk about a couple of things last week and I want to make sure that I get those in. So let's start with what I'm wearing, and this is the, I'm going to butcher the name, Proserpina. I will put the name up here. I will put the designer because I think it's Emma Brom, and it is through Expression Fiber Arts. If y'all aren't signed up for Expression Fiber Arts' newsletter, you really should be, because every Friday she includes a free pattern in her newsletter, and they are some beautiful, beautiful patterns. I did wind up buying this one because I didn't get it when it was free, but it was one of the free ones that went out on a Friday because I went and looked. And of course it was no longer free whenever I went and decided that I wanted it. Well, this one is a rare repeat knit. I have knit this 3 times because this is my girls trip, girlfriends sweater, my bestie sweaters. So what happened was I fell in love with this a picture of this on the Expression Fiber Arts, their social media. I don't remember if it was Instagram or Facebook. But anyway, there was a picture. It was done in this beautiful blue. Well, I went out and looked. I didn't want to do the blue like what she had. And sorry, I'm peeling a little bit here, so I'm going to be picking some pills off. I didn't want to do it in the same color that she had done it, so I went out and looked. I used the same yarn. This is their camel silk. I don't remember the name of the colorway or the name of the yarn itself, but it's their camel silk. And I picked this beautiful pink and I knitted one, and I was like, oh, and Michelle was like, oh, that's so pretty. I was like, oh, they have this really pretty purple. Let me get that. And so I grabbed the purple and I got what they called oopsie because they didn't have any other way. And that's where something goes wrong in the dye process. Well, I got it in, and people, I had checked and people were like, oh no, it's fine. Usually it's just like a tangled skein or something like that. Well, I got it in and they had tied it wrong or something because there were parts of it that weren't dyed. And so it kind of made this little pooling situation. I wasn't sure, but Michelle really liked it. Once I got it done, I really loved it. And then, of course, we were taking a trip to Costa Rica. We couldn't go and have Teresa go with us and not have one. So I sent her some yarn options. She picked the yarn she wanted, which was this beautiful wine color. It was not the camel silk. It was a different blend. It was something else in silk. I want to say maybe yak. And so I knitted her one as well, and we wore them to the Costa Rica Fruity Knitting Retreat last year. I have a picture. I'll put it up here. I've shown it before on the podcast, but I've got to show it again because these are my girls. We take girls trips and we have matching things, and it's oh so fun. So this was my first experience with that, and now I'm going to knit something for our trips. I've got a little bag that I'm knitting this year. But that's the story of this one. So, moving right along, let me start with the housekeeping stuff. I have talked several times about that I have gifted a couple of my knits that did not fit me well. And one of them was a test knit that I did, which was the Lucid by Turquoise Toque Designs. I love that design, and I will wind up knitting myself another one because I really, really like that design. But this one just did not fit right. So Ren took it, and she wears it with a shirt under it because it's kind of cropped, especially in her. She's taller than me. And she just really styles it so well. And she moved off to Portland. And the day that she wore it in the shop, when I got Susan's picture of the other one I gifted, I did not get Ren's picture before she left. So she has since moved to Portland, but she sent me a couple of pictures and I wanted y'all to see her in them. I want to see y'all to see how beautiful my friend Ren is and how wonderfully she styles that Lucid. So I'll put some pictures up here. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about, which I forgot, but I think it was about swatching, and I'll go ahead and talk about that now, is my friend Melanie from Melanie Rantree from Rantree Stitchery. She made a comment last week on the podcast or maybe 2 weeks ago, where I had done the swatching video. And she was like, you know, you should probably try swatching with like a hot pink or even black and see what you think. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try that. I can see the hot pink, but I'm not so sure about the black. But guys, oh my gosh, Melanie, thank you, because I think I'm going to use this. I think I am going to wind up with a sorrel sweater out of that green variegated base, because guys, look at this. Just look at this. Look. So I'm going to turn it around, because this is what the sorrel will look like, because it is reverse stockinette. I think that I am going to wind up going with the hot pink, because I like it slightly better, but I really do like that black. I was surprised at how much I like that black. So guys, give me a little feedback here and let me know what you think. Should I go with the hot pink? Should I go with the black? Or are you just, Melissa, that base is just too much? I actually now really like it. I do really like it with both of these mohairs. Like I said, I'm leaning towards the hot pink, but I really like that. Can't you just see a sorrel made out of that with that green peeking through and that pink? And so just let me know what you think. But yes, I went down another swatching little rabbit hole, and I swatched this up last night. And I did decide, instead of doing 2 swatches, because you use, when you cast off and all that, if I'm going to make a sweater, I need to preserve as much yarn as possible. I decided to just change midway, so we could compare apples to apples. All right. Now, I have a finished object. I got my Ewa done last week. I told you I wasn't going to show it again because, right, I was going to have too much of it done. Well, it's done. It is done, because I never, ever, ever, ever wear a sleeveless shirt. I don't love my arms. I just don't. I'm at that age where you've got, you know, and let's just face it, I'm a fluffy girl. I'm not out there exercising. I'm not trying to do anything about it. So I'm not complaining, but I don't just love my arms. So I typically do not wear sleeveless. But this sweater, and guys, I wish that I could put this up, this tee. I wish I could put the picture up that I took of myself in it. Because number one, I put it on because I was like, okay, I just want to take a picture so I can show the group, the test group, what it looks like. And then I'll add sleeves. I was going to do short sleeves, probably about the same length as these. This is a nice length sleeve on me. She does have it to where it was 3/4 length. I also thought, well, I could do a full length one and wear it in the summer, in the winter. But I really wanted a summer tee. I made it out of drop spell. So I put it on and I went, I've not done anything. I've not finished. I did finish the neck. So I had done the I-cord around the neck, but I hadn't done anything with the sleeves. I haven't put ribbing on there. I hadn't put I-cord. I just tried it on, right? And I looked in the mirror and I went, holy cow. This is the first sleeveless top I have put on where I felt confident in it. I felt pretty in it. I felt like it looked good on me. And I posted it in the test group and everybody was like, absolutely, you can wear that sleeveless. It looks great. And this was before blocking. And then I did post it to my knitting group and they all agreed that it was great and I could wear it sleeveless. So I say I'm finished, but I do have to go. I'm going to pick up and put ribbing on one of them and try it on and see if I like the ribbing. And if I don't, then I'll pick that out because that's easier to take out than an I-cord. I'll pick that out and then I'll put an I-cord on it just as a finishing touch. And I'll probably keep the I-cord. I doubt I'm going to pick it out. But even with nothing on it, it doesn't need to be finished. It's absolutely stunning. And I may have to make one. I've got some navy blue as well. And I think that would be a really pretty fall sweater and do like full length sleeves on them. So I'm thinking about that. And we'll see how that goes. But guys, I cannot wait. It does not release until the 1st of May. So we've got a few weeks to go before I'll be able to show it. But as soon as I can, I will wear it. And I will also show the picture that made me go, oh my gosh, this is a sleeveless design I love. So y'all will be able to see it in a couple of weeks. But meanwhile, I'll just tell you, I did finish it. It is beautiful and it blocked out just stunning. The lace is gorgeous and I will wear it because the lace is, I don't want just my skin and bra showing. So I have a couple of red tank tops that I can wear under it that just kind of looks very seamless. Or if I really want to highlight it, I could wear a navy blue, or I could wear a white or anything like that. So I'll be able to style it. It is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And Natasha, it's the Ua by Moonstruck Knits. Natasha was an absolute delight to knit with, to, you know, do a test knit for. She was very active in the group. She answered questions. She has so many compliments to say to people about their Uas, and it just has been really, really gracious. So I would love to test knit for her again. And I'm assuming I'll get to, because I am part of the group. So I haven't heard anything saying, yep, you didn't fit in, we're going to kick you out, nothing like that. So I'm assuming I'll get more test calls for garments. All right. And I own a lot of her patterns. I plan on knitting some more of them because they're really, really well written patterns. All right, so moving right along, I'll go ahead and finish up with my test knits. I just haven't, this is my meeting knit, and I haven't really knit a lot on it this week. I mean, it is much further, right? I'm almost done. It is, I've probably got that much again to go before I start thinking about binding off, but I just haven't done a whole lot with it. I've got until the end of May for this one, so I'm not in any big hurry. I've got a month left, and there's other things that are distracting me right now, but this is the Waffle Tee, and it is a test knit for the Knit Pearl Girl. It is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And she has another test knit. No, it's Crayabea that has a test knit coming that I might apply for. But Sophie, I will just test knit for her every single time she will let me, because her designs are absolutely beautiful. She's easy peasy to test knit. And I have had a couple of viewers say that they put in for test knits with her based on my recommendation, and they got accepted. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to see and hear how those test knits go and to see the finished objects of those. So I'm really excited that other people are joining in. So there's a funny little story, and then I'll get back to this. I'll just go on a little tangent. A men's test knit came through, and I decided I wasn't going to test knit it. It came through Yarn Pond, but I was talking about it at the shop, and Dylan was like, well, send me that link. So I sent it to him. He signed up. He is now almost done. He's knitted most of the body. It's absolutely stunning. He's doing such a stellar job. And so now he is test knitting. So maybe I'll live vicariously through others for test knits as I try to scale back a little bit. But I will not scale back from the Knit Pearl Girl. She is just wonderful. And you always have plenty of time to test knit. And like I said, this is the Waffle Tee, and just very well written, absolutely beautiful, stunning pattern. This is another one of those, the neck. I doubt very seriously I'm even putting an I-cord on it. I don't think it needs any finishing. It's just beautiful. And I am knitting this out of Noro Sonata in the colorway Magenta. And again, I think it's beautiful. I think it's stunning. I'm loving the color. I like how it kind of pulls a little bit or stripes a little bit. It's a little tonal. I love all of that. I don't love the slubbiness of it. And so I'm just reminded why I don't knit more with Noro. I like Noro yarns. I think they're really nice yarns. They are high quality. They've got nice blends. And like this one is a silk blend. It's so soft. It's so pretty. It has no wool. I think it's cotton and silk and nylon maybe. And it's just beautiful, but I don't like slubby yarns, so I'm really struggling with that. I do have several Noros in my stash, and I will be knitting with Noro again. It's just I will have to love the yarn enough to be okay with the slubbiness. That's all. And I may actually get this done without having to break into that other ball of yarn. We'll see. But just better to be safe than sorry. All right. So not a lot to say about that. I'm just knitting right now on that. The same with the Cove sweater. This is the Cove Raglan. Sophie from the Knit Pearl Girl, she has the Cove sweater out there. It's a drop shoulder. And she's doing a update on it. So she's calling it the Cove 2.0. So if you own the Cove sweater, you will get the update. If you don't, then when you buy it, you'll have the updated. And it comes with a vest and a raglan as well as the original drop shoulder, which is very nice. And I do love these mega patterns where you get multiples of the same thing in one pattern. And I am just in love with this. It is so nice. I am obsessed with this collar. Truly obsessed with this collar. Every time I try it on, every time I'm like, oh, look at that collar. Look how pretty that collar is. It's so gorgeous. And I'm obsessed with this yarn combo. There will be more of this yarn combo in my future. Yes, there will be. This is Rowan Felted Tweed and Rowan Mohair. And it's the colors, Bilberry is the Felted Tweed and Blackcurrant is the Mohair. And speaking of Rowan yarns, Wool Warehouse has a sale right now, 30% off all their Rowan yarns. I did get some, I don't know why I'm looking over here. It's not here yet. I did buy some Rowan mohair. So that, oh, I know why I was looking. I did buy some of this pink mohair. This is Rowan. It's Candy Girl. It's that beautiful pink. And I've got another, my Sunday cardigan is done holding 2 strands of that. So I know I love this yarn and I love this color. May wind up buying some more. We'll see. It's on until the end of April, so I have time to think about it. But I wanted to go ahead and get that because that's probably going to be the sorrel. But oh my gosh, this combo. It is so soft and squishy. The Felted Tweed has alpaca in it. And then, of course, the mohair is mohair. And it's so squishy and soft and beautiful. And this color. Oh my gosh, I've shown this every time. And I'm just going to do it again. We've got a light, a little bit too muted. I mean, it looks fine. It would be fine on its own. But it's a little more muted than I like. And then this one's really, really dark, which I would wear. I would absolutely wear. But you put these two together and you have something really special. Kind of like on Big Bang Theory when they were talking about, there was something that was, when you put 2 things together, you get special. And he's like, yeah, kind of like okay and okay. I don't remember what when you put them together, it was special. It was something that I think it was Penny and Leonard. But anyway, it just, when I said that, it made me think about that. But when you put these 2 yarns together, you really do get this special, just look at that, the depth of color, and you get the little tweedy bits, and it's just this beautiful, beautiful purple. You get the best of both yarns in one. I'm in love with this. Absolutely in love with this. And as soon as I get done with this, which let me tell you, this goes a lot further than you think, because I keep knitting, and I'm like, oh, I should be almost done, right? And I'll be able to do some sleeves. No, it goes a lot further than you think it does. So once I get this done, once I get done with the Felted Tweed, and I think I'll have enough mohair as well, but once I get to the end of these balls, then I'm going to pick up and knit the sleeves, and then I'll finish off the body. I really like to do that, and Adorable Knits actually asked on Instagram today about that, and it is the way that I prefer to knit as well. I prefer to do, the yoke, all the raglan increases, all the color work, whatever you're doing for the yoke, and then you split for sleeves, or if it's a drop shoulder, you join it together, and it forms the sleeves. I like to then finish out whatever ball of yarn I'm working on for the body, and then pick up and do the sleeves. There are exceptions to this. Adorable Knits Winter Soul was an exception. I did the sleeves after I did the body because I was just so obsessed with the color work, and I knew the sleeves weren't going to bother me. I hate sleeves. I hate doing sleeves. I do not know why. It's a mental thing. There is no logical reason why I hate doing sleeves, but I just don't like doing sleeves. And I think maybe because one time I threw, and I had like 9 sweaters I needed to do sleeves on because I'd done the bodies on them and not finished them. And so I spent, and I was in sleeve hell, and I think that really scarred me. So, I don't love doing sleeves, but if I will do them before I finish the body, they don't bother me. So, I try to do that with every one of my sweaters. And next week, I should have the Edinburgh back in rotation because I'm going to start on the 2nd sleeve this week. All right, now, the Soul Mosaic, which I have talked about for several weeks. And last week, I had just gotten it to where I had picked up and was just barely at the ribbing here. And I did do, I'm trying to see which one's the back, and I can tell because, okay, here it is. This is the back, and there's a couple of ways I can tell. First of all, Because if you look at the back, you'll see this middle part's a little bit shorter than the sides because there's short rows there. But also, if you really look, short rows in ribbing are hard to do, and they made this just funky little stitch. I don't care. It's going to be in the back, in my back. I'm not going to see it. I don't care. If you're behind me and you notice it and it bothers you, sorry. Don't look at it. So I'm not that fussed about it, but it does help me know which one's the back. But I had just gotten that done. Well, I have gotten the color work done on both sides, and I have joined in the round. So I am just knitting on this now. And everything, apparently I am really obsessed with like smaller needles and yarn right now because I've got three projects that are on 2.5 US 2.5s or 3mm needles. So this is the Soul Mosaic. I pulled this out of hibernation earlier, and this is the pattern and yarn we got as part of that retreat that we went to in Costa Rica. And the designer of this is Claudia Quintanilla. And this is the Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, and it is cream and navy blue. It was supposed to be black, and she gave us black mohair, but that is just not touching me in the summer. So I bought navy blue in the cotton merino because they don't have black. If they did, I would have gotten black. But so this is where I'm at with this right now. And I did get it to the end of a ball, so that's why I just stopped working on it and brought it in here last night. I will pick it up, join another round, another ball of yarn to it, and keep knitting. I should get this done in a couple of weeks, maybe. This has had my attention quite a bit because I really wanted to get it to join in the round, and I did. All right, and I do set myself weekly goals on like how far I want to get with my knitting so that I can do things. Like I was really focused on getting that done because I wanted, the two things that I really wanted to get done this week was I wanted to finish my UO, which I did, and I wanted to join that in the round, which I did. That's why you will notice my gift knits and my book club raglan are not in this rotation this week because I didn't touch those at all because I got a ways before I need those done. So I want to focus on summer knits. And so based on that, I did bring a couple back. I resurrected a couple of knits that were in hibernation that I put in hibernation last winter whenever they, you know, it got to the point I wasn't going to be able to wear it. It was cool outside. So I wanted to switch and start working on heavier sweaters and long sleeve sweaters and everything. So I had put the Tolsta Tee that I'm going to do in a stripe on hold, and I will tell you, yes, I picked this up, and it actually goes this way. I picked this up and brought it out of hibernation, but I wound up just having to tear it out because I couldn't figure out where I was at because I don't make notes like an idiot. And so I restarted it, and I am now back to where I'm just working on the raglans. I've got the first part done in the black. I'm going to do however long this is. I've got to measure and see, but since I'm at a good stopping point, I'm going to add white in, and I'm going to do thicker stripes here. So I'm going to do a white stripe equal, and I'm not positive if I'm going to include the neck in the length of the stripes, or if I'm just going to go from under the neck to down here. I don't know. I'll measure both and decide, see which number floats my boat, and go from there. But I'm going to attach a white ball of yarn to this and continue knitting on this. This is the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow, or the Crayabea. It is by far one of my favorite tees for the summer, and I have 4 of them from last year. This will be my 5th one, and I will probably have another one as well. We'll see. But I really do love this design. It's easy. It's knitted up. This is one of the few things that's not on a 2.5. I either have a 2.5 3mm, or I have an 8 5mm, because that's what I'm doing the Cove sweater in, and that's what I'm doing this Tolsta Tee in. So I'm at one extreme or the other for my knits. But I am doing this out of Sanduscore Lena, and this is the colorway black. The other one will be white, so it will be a black and white stripe, just very classic. I just want a black and white striped sweater, or t-shirt, and so I'm doing that. And then we'll see if I want to make another one or not. I have a couple of other tees that I really want to work on as well, and those are in the queue, and it is killing me. I want to make an anchor DK weight. I have an anchor fingering weight, and then I want to make the crescendo top by Knit Pearl Girl, and it's killing me. I want to cast both of those on, but I really need to get my test knits done first. So I did bring this out because I did technically cast it back on and redo it, but in my mind, because I had already started it and it was hibernating, it wasn't a new cast on, it was a resurrection. So I did pull that out and start working on that. And then the other one that I pulled out, and I've gotten a bit done on it since I pulled it out, is the Cumulus Tee. And this is made out of this is by the Petite Knit. It is, or it's just Petite Knit, not the Petite Knit. But it's by Petite Knit. It's the Cumulus Tee. It is the V-neck. I prefer a V-neck. So if there's a V-neck option and there's a round neck option, I'm usually always going to go with the V-neck option. The round neck might be a little bit easier because I think I probably could have joined it and started it in the round. And with this, you are knitting back and forth for a while, and I've got another 24 rows before I join it in the round. But this is just beautiful. And I say I have 24 more rows, and I'm sure I do. But I got to go back and look again and see if I want to make which size I want to do. I just have to validate. But this is, because I'm struggling with making my clothes too big because I've lost quite a bit of weight. I love how the UA fits, and it is closer fitting. So the ones that I've made with less ease, I'm liking more. So I want to make sure that I'm not making so much ease that it's looking sloppy. So I'll just validate that I am continuing on in that size. It won't be a big deal if I'm not. I just don't do as many repeats. So this is the Cumulus Tee. It is by Petite Knit, and I am knitting it out of Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, one of my very favorite summer yarns. It is so lightweight, and it's so funny to me how people can have different experiences. I was watching Easily Knitfluence the other day, and she said, you know, I just have to admit, I just don't like the pure silk. It's up uneven, it grows a lot. I don't like how it feels. My hands are not bothered by cotton or anything else. This is a drier yarn. It does knit up more like cotton. It did not grow a lot for me, but I wash it and dry it. So that could be the difference. And it is incredibly soft after I've worn it a few times. I have two tees made out of it. I have the Mosaic Tee, which I wore last week, that is the orange. And then I have the, it's by Linnea Knit. Linnea Renee? Anyway, it was a test knit last year, and I can't remember the name of the sweater or the tee. I'll put it up here. But it is beautiful, and she actually has a long sleeve version of it as well, which I am going to wind up buying the pattern so that I can knit that as well. I really like the design a lot. It's got like a leaf design here, and the long sleeved one goes all the way down. But I love that yarn. That one's is in Poppy Blue, and I get so many compliments on both of them every time I wear them, and they are so lightweight. They are so cool. I don't get hot in them. I love them. So I have this going in the pure silk, and I have a couple of other things that I'm probably going to knit up this summer in pure silk. I just love the pure silk. I absolutely love the pure silk. So I will be knitting more things out of this. You know, lots of people don't like whole scarn either, the super soft, because it's not soft enough. We all have different experiences. We have different thoughts about how our knits look. We have different tactile experiences, right? Maybe a texture bothers you, or like Ruby and Pearls, she talks a lot about that she can't, it really bothers her if a collar hits her like right here, it makes her feel like she's choking. She can wear turtlenecks, funnels, or lower ones. And so everybody's different, and guys, just embrace that. If you don't like a top that fits you here, and you know, you're like, but I really want to knit that, well, then either make it lower by casting on a larger size for the neck, and then just increasing to the smaller size that you need. That will help lower it. Add some short rows to make it rise up a little bit. Or if you're like, you know, I can also wear a turtleneck, then just knit it longer. Knit it to where it's a turtleneck. Knit it where it's a funnel neck. Knit a really thick double collar, whatever you need to do. If you don't like rustic yarns, don't use them. Figure out the differences between your rustic yarn and your superwash if that's your preferred yarn. And so you know that superwash is going to grow more. Figure out how much more it grows so that you know what size you need to knit, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can do that, but make sure that you are true to yourself. And if you just enjoy knitting just to knit and you don't care if you ever wear it, then do whatever you want to. Use whatever yarn, use whatever. You can donate it, you can give it to friends, you can gift knit, whatever. I want to wear all of my stuff, so I'm going to knit with the yarns I like. And I really, really like this yarn. And this colorway, it is a gray. I don't know. It'll be listed up here, of course, just like it is in all of the other ones. But I think I've taken off my... Yeah, I don't have a band on this. So I don't know the colorway, but it is a silvery color. And I love this color. I think it looks really good, right? It kind of matches my hair. So, all right. And that, guys, is it. That is what I have worked on this week. And like I said, I set weekly goals for myself. So my weekly goals for next week, I would really like to get this joined in the round. I won't get it split for sleeves most likely, but I would like to get this joined in the round. I would like to get a white stripe knit on this. Just get this a little bit longer. I won't do the sleeves yet. It's short sleeved anyway, but I won't do the sleeves yet because I don't have it long enough. So I want to get this a little bit longer. Knit a little bit more on this. Maybe at least start a sleeve on the Cove, and then possibly get this one done next week. We'll see. We'll see. Because I'd also like to start the sleeve on my Edinburgh, and I'd like to work a little bit. I'd like to really work on Shauna's gift knit and pick up one of the shoulders and start working on one of the front shoulders. So we'll see. And I should have a lot of knitting time coming up, that was the other thing I had forgotten to tell y'all last week. I said that I had something exciting happening and I would tell y'all, and then I forgot to tell y'all, guys, I started a new job Monday. So I'm kind of excited about it. Friday is my last day with my current client, and I am going to miss everyone. I love all the people that I work with, but I wound up, a recruiter reached out to me. This was out of the blue. I had not applied for this job. I had not indicated anything. They reached out to me and had an offer, or didn't have an offer. They asked me if I was interested in this consulting job. It's another consulting position. And I wasn't really, because I didn't want to go from consulting to consulting. I had a signed contract, and it was a lateral move. It wasn't even going to be any more money. And I told them no. No, I'm not interested in that. You're asking me to take a risk and leave a signed contract and a possibility for conversion to go over here where there's no guarantees of anything for the same amount of money, and you're not offering me benefits. I'm not doing that. No. And so they came back and offered me $10 an hour more, which that makes a bit of difference, right? It's a pretty healthy chunk of change. So I said, well, okay, maybe. I'll interview. But those no benefits really, I was like, that's just not sitting well with me. But I'll interview because, guys, this is how I feel about it. If you get the opportunity to interview, I think you should, because you need to keep your interview skills up. It's valuable feedback that you can get back. But I went into it saying I'm not taking this job. And people can tell you, my friends can attest to that. I said I wasn't taking this job. It didn't matter. The client is actually Amtrak. That was kind of exciting. And I had talked to my brother. And I was like, I'm not taking this job. I'm just not doing it. And Alan was like, now, Melissa, you've been praying a lot about this and about getting a permanent full-time position. And I'm like, but this is a contract job. He said, yes, but you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going to happen. And this is Amtrak. They're going to be there. They're not going anywhere. And he said, it reminds me of the story where there's a woman who drowns. She has been on the top of her house in a flood for days. And she drowns and she wakes up in heaven and she says, God, why did you forsake me? I prayed and prayed and prayed to be rescued. And his response was, I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. What more did you need? He had not forsaken her. He had given her ways to be rescued. But she was waiting for him to do a miracle or whatever. And my brother said, Melissa, maybe God's sending you a train. And so I still went into it saying, yeah, whatever. I'm still not taking this job. And then I interviewed, and I really loved Kumar. Really loved the guy that is going to be my direct boss. And he mentioned that they were looking for people to stay, and they were looking for people to convert. Well, this is a big deal. Amtrak has some great benefits. Well, I still was like, I'm not sure about this, because I went and Googled, and I was worried about what the conversion would be salary-wise. And I was like, I'm not sure I can do this. But I got invited back for a panel interview to interview with other people, and that was late on a Tuesday. And I interviewed with them, and I felt like it went well. And Thursday morning, I had an offer. And so I went back to them, and I talked to the account manager. I said, okay, here's my concerns. I'm good with COBRA and insurance and all that, but I really need a group rate for short-term and long-term disability, because that prohibitively is just too expensive if you don't have a group rate. And I have a disabled son. I can't afford to be without work and be sick and not have any income coming in. So I really need access to that. They agreed to that. And then I was concerned about what the conversion would be. So they went and did a little hypothetical, and they're like, no. And so it should be around where I want to be. It won't be as much as I'll get being a contractor, because that's part of being a consultant, is you get more money because you have to pay for your own insurance and everything. You don't get all these great benefits that you get when you're a full-time employee. And so it sounds like that it'll be right in there, and then the benefits are just great. So I'm really excited. Hopefully this will turn into a conversion within the next 6 months or so, and I'll be all excited that I have a full-time position again. You know, a full-time employee. I have a full-time position. I work 40 hours a week, but it's a contract. And hopefully I will be a full-time employee of Amtrak. So we'll see. Of course, it all depends on if I'm a great worker or not. And I am. Everybody loves me. So not to toot my own horn, but I've had really good experiences. And so I'm really, really excited about that. So I start my new job on Monday. So just, you know, give me some positive thoughts. Pray if you're a prayer, whatever. Just, you know, I want to celebrate that, because I did tell y'all, and I shared with y'all at the beginning when I was devastated because I had gotten laid off. Well, now here I am. I'm very excited about hopefully finding the place that I'm going to land until retirement. All right. Now, I will move on to the acquisitions I have this week. One of them I didn't pay for. It's still an acquisition because it is mine. And I'll start with that one. I have 4 balls of this. I actually have a sweater quantity of this already. What this is about is I showed y'all that in my winter knitting plans, which I think I'm going to do a video for spring plans and share how I did against my winter knitting plans. One of the plans was to do the Arctic light sweater in this. I have this and the mohair as well. And I was going to cast on, and I was going to have to do a provisional cast on because it's a folded collar. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to do that right now. So I set it down and I didn't cast on. And like the next day, Belinda sent out a thing that said they had found out her sister had cancer and she was going to have to go through chemo. And Belinda had found the cutest little hat. And I will find out. I will text Belinda and ask her if I can put pictures. She has a picture of, I know she has a picture of her wearing it. And I think she has a picture of her sister wearing it that she shared with the group. I'll find out if I can put those up here. If not, I'll find a picture of the actual pattern and put it up here. But it's this really funny hat that looks like hair. It's almost like Medusa hair, right? It's really cool. And so as a joke, she sent it to her sister and said, oh, I'll have to knit you this for chemo days. And her sister said, yes, please, cobalt blue to go with my eyes. And I said, Belinda, I have some double Sunday. It was an Aran weight yarn, so she would have to hold this double. But I was like, I am more than happy to bring it to you. You use whatever you need, because that is an urgent, time-sensitive need. You do whatever you use, whatever you need. Then you can just replace the yarn for me, and then I can knit the Arctic Light next year. And so she did, and she used 4 of them. And so she is moving to Portland. So Letha just can't get a hold of this, so we ordered it from Wool & Company and had it sent to me. And so this is an acquisition because it is replacement yarn, but I did not pay for it. So, and I am oh so happy that I was able to do that. That's the power of having a stash. You can do little things like that. So I was happy to help a friend out. All right. So I have some acquisitions here. One is oops, it's the wrong color. And the other one is a wow, like the eyeballs from the cartoons that go woo. That's what I feel like about this. This yarn, guys, I ordered this and paid for it like a year ago. This is part of a backer kit. It's a, what's it called? It's a kind of a Kickstarter campaign where this guy, John with Herders to Home, and he has a company, it's called Eula plus Leah, ULA plus LIA, and they do have a website, but what they do is they go direct to Mongolia, and they deal directly with the farmers who take care of these animals, and they buy directly from them, and then it gets processed, it gets spun, it gets dyed, it gets, all of that stuff is done over in Mongolia, and then it's shipped over here, and he sends it out, and you pay for it in advance, and that's how he's able to go over there and do all of this stuff. I am happy to do that. This is my second year. I have some. Give me just a second. And it's going to crinkle. Sorry. And I thought I was going to get by without showing y'all my sweatpants today, but that's okay. I have some from last year that I got. And this is a DK. It's 100% yak. And this is mahogany. Well, every year he usually has some colors left over from the year before. And I was like, you know, 4 of these is not really enough to do a sweater. So I need 4 more of these. I ordered mulberry. So now I have 4 of mulberry and 4 of mahogany, and he does not have any more of these left. So probably what will happen here is this will become part of a color work thing, because I am not giving them up. I have 4. And they're 215 yards each, so I don't think I can get a sweater out of it, and it's too hot to wear as a t-shirt. Maybe I can do a pullover, we'll see, but I have 4 of these, and I don't think he has any more, so I doubt very seriously that that's going to rectify itself. Now, whenever I do it again, because I will be doing it again this year, I really like this yarn, and I like the concept. I like the being able to go directly to the source. I will get more of this color because it is a beautiful, beautiful purple. It's just a deep, dark, rich purple, and it's gorgeous, and I would love a sweater out of this. But again, I only got 4, so I'll have to add 4 more if he has some left next year. Mulberry this time. Mulberry. I will have to remember that. And then this I bought is a cone of fingering weight 100% cashmere yarn, and I wish I had fill-o-vision so y'all could reach through. This is absolutely stunning. The colorway is ox blood, and it is 100% cashmere from free-range goats in Mongolia. And all of this is done over there. The women over there, like there's, I guess, a whole village. I may be wrong about that, a tribe, a village, something. Where, and if you know about this and I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But they do everything. They shear the animals, and then they spin the yarn, and they dye the yarn. The women there are expert spinners and dyers. And so all of that is done over there, and then it comes over here. And this is just beautiful, beautiful yarn. It is so incredibly soft. And it is 400 grams, which equals 1,720 yards. Plenty to do any sweater I want. And this, I've just got to figure out what I want to do in it. I want to work with this very soon. I love cashmere. I just want to knit everything in cashmere. I love cashmere. So this will become a sweater before too terribly long. I've just got to decide what I'm going to do. And then last but not least was a local purchase. We have 3 yarn shops around here. We have one that doesn't have a physical location. They are online, and then they do pop-ups, which is Ozark Knitting Company. And then we have 2 that have brick and mortar locations, Letha's, which is in Fayetteville, and then there's one called Yarn Alchemy in Bentonville. Bentonville is 20 miles one way from my house. It takes a lot to get me to drive 20 miles. I'm just not going up there. I just am not. Yes, I want to support local yarn stores, yes, but Letha is my local yarn store, and I'm not driving 20 miles. I'm just not. However, you can seduce me and make me go 20 miles one way, and that is by bringing in a Sayer yarn and bringing in 2 bases that I desperately wanted in colors that I desperately wanted, which is the silk mohair in deep wine and the Highland wool in wine. Sophie from the Knit Pearl Girl has a sweater that she knit in this combination, and it is another one of those, the cartoon eyeballs. Ooh, oh my gosh. It is the most beautiful color when you put these two together. And I like a rustic yarn. This reminds me a little bit of Tin Peer Ghent. It's a little softer than the Tin Peer Ghent if you've used that. But I don't mind a rustic wool. And then these two together. So now I don't know. I kind of want to do the Moonset Tee in this instead of in that. Or the Moonset pullover. But I think I'm still going to go with this. And I've just got to find a beautiful, beautiful pullover to knit this out of. Maybe I'll do the one that Sophie did hers in. It's a pretty, it's got a lace panel in the front. I didn't put into test knit that one. Or maybe I'll do her cables. I don't know. I don't know. But there's something that's going to be in my future. Actually, I'm probably going to hold on to it. She's got a cable design that she's struggling with. And I've fallen in love. And she uses this. I think she uses an alpaca with it. But I would use these two together and do that one. So I'm going to hold on to it for a little while and see if she does a test knit for that, if she gets it all worked out. And if so, I will probably do this. If not, I will find something because, whoo-hoo, this is so pretty. All right, and that is it. I would have been good. I do have several orders coming in. Gosh, I am like Pavlov's dog when you say sell, because I have yarn coming from Wool Warehouse. 2 orders now from Wool Warehouse. I have some yarn coming from Holst Garn because they put a sale on. And I think that may be it. That may be all that's coming to me. No. I'm lying. Woolly Knit. I have yarn coming from there because they did a thing where they did free international shipping on up to 2 kilograms. And that's why I don't order more from them, because their shipping is just pretty expensive. It's like 22 pounds is their starting shipping. And that goes to like $30 US. It's because our exchange rate with pounds is not very good. And so that's just a lot for me to do. And you can only get like 3 or 4 cones. So if I'm going to order from over there and pay a lot in shipping, I like to be able to get several cones. Or like Jamieson and Smith, if I get 2 kilograms with them, it's 16 pounds. So that's quite a bit of a difference. And so I don't mind too much having to get like no more than 4 cones if I'm ordering from Jamieson and Smith, so that, you know, that's not that prohibitively expensive. But this is pretty expensive. And then over that, it goes up to like almost $50. And so, gosh, you know, if I can find those cones on for a really big sale, then yes. But I've got 3 cones and a 200-yard hank coming. And I got smart and I got the shade cards so that I can see the ones that I will want as we do like Black Friday and stuff. You'll see all of this stuff in coming future podcasts. I have no self-control. I said in January I was not going to buy yarn. I was just, you know, I was going to knit 2 sweaters and then I would buy a sweater quantity. Well, I lied. I'm giving up. I'm just going to keep on ordering and buying and all of that. And it just is what it is. I am an addict to yarn. There's a lot worse things that I could be addicted to. So, all right, guys, I am done. We are done now, and I will see y'all next week. I hope y'all have a fabulous knitty week, and I will see y'all next week with a little update on how my first week at the job went. All right, see you then.